Be seated in Swastikasana. Sit in such a way that the legs can release down. As you look straight forward, feel that release of the legs and the softness from the inner legs, inner groins, all the way to the inner knees. At the same time, descend the buttock flesh. Feel that the right side and the left side of the buttock descend evenly. Letting go at the inner groin and frontal groin as that progresses. Then bring the hands together at the center chest into Namaskarasana. Turn the upper arm bone out, but keep the diaphragm soft. From the front diaphragm to the back diaphragm, keep that area relaxed, not rigid. And then close the eyes, turn the attention inward. Soften the skin across the face, the mouth, the jaw, the tongue. Notice the breath in and out through the nose. Breathe wide into the side body. And then join me for the sound of Om. We'll take 3 Oms all together. And then release the head down towards the heart center and surrender there completely. Release the hands with the palms up. Bring the head up with closed eyes and then gently open the eyes. Okay, everybody, so let's take downward facing dog. You can just set your blankets aside if you are using some. Adho Mukha Svanasana. So feel the entire palm spread out against the ground and press down evenly. Even the inner hand should press so that the forearms lift away from the ground. This tender part of the forearm should not hang down, but rather stamp the palms down so that tender part of the forearm is lifted and buoyant, and extend through the outer arms, outer side body from there. Relax the head and the neck. Elongate all the way through the outer armpits, the side ribs sideways, all the way up to your outer groin. This region is the outer groin. Feel as though that outer groin is being lengthened and lifted up and back at that same angle that the hands all the way through the spine create. Maximize that. Then use your exhale and descend the heel bones. Descend the heel bones as you spread the mounds of the foot. Look at your knees. See that they lift up. Notice if the inner knee dives back or if the outer knee dives back. Try and make that even. Inner knees, outer knees, both move back. Then walk your hands back to your feet. Hold the elbows, soft Utkatasana. Awaken the legs further and more. Keep the weight spreading into the mound of the foot so you don't just hang in your heels, right? But instead, mound of the foot spreads so that the legs lift up and the abdomen softens. And release down from the side waist, from the back sacral region. This region should be able to soften so that the back waist, side ribs, all descend. Change the crossing of your arms. And then keeping the legs nice and steady, walk your hands forward again for Utkatasana again. And this time, again, stamp the heels down, spread the mounds of the foot. So again, you see that the kneecaps lift up, and this lower part of the quadricep is where you press back. Open the back of your upper knees, right? So feel that that inner upper back knee spreads from the inner leg to the outer. Relax the neck. Work as if the occipital ridge, the base of the skull, descends. And then once again, walk your hands back to your feet. Take a moment there again in a soft Utkatasana, forward bend. Letting go further and more through the side body, through the abdomen, and through the sacral region. And then with your inhale, come all the way up with your head last. So once you're up, come and stand in Tadasana for a moment. Feet together. Lift through the knees so that the top thighs move back, buttock down, heels down. Roll the shoulders back. So let the palms face you, elbows go to straight. And just find your basic Tadasana pose there, the pose that you're, accustomed to, used to. Then I want you to find a corner in the area you're practicing in. And what I mean by that is not a concave corner like that one, but a convex corner. This is the only one I really have in my room, but it's, it's a corner that sticks out. So what you do from there is you bring your heels right in front of that corner edge, right in front, maybe a ½ inch forward of that edge. Feet a little apart, but not super wide. Then with that corner right against your tailbone, sacrum, middle back, even the back of your head, right? Bend your knees, bear weight in your heels. Feel how both sides of the buttock can descend here, allowing the low back to lengthen. I'm not asking you to punch your back into the wall. I'm asking you to feel how the low back lengthens out, and you'll be able to feel that corner. Now, to transition, press into your heels. Feel how the press of the heels and the weight in the heels pulls the flesh of the buttock down, down, down. The legs lift to straight. But you stay there against that corner, keeping that length, increasing that length in the low back. Now, heels are pressing, right? Keep that. But now spread the mounds of the foot from big toe to small toe so that your top thigh feels like it's going back some. So feel how the legs take more and more responsibility. Buttock down, thighs back. Tadasana with that guidance of that corner. So then when the shoulders, upper arms turn out and the shoulders roll back, descend the shoulders away from the ears. And feel how the spine becomes highlighted in the body, all the way from your tailbone up through the crown of the head. And be with that line there, that center line deep within. Now, release that, come back to your mat, and try and find just that strong
of a Tadasana here. So that the tailbone, mid-buttock, is in. The frontal groins lengthen and open. The shoulders can easily roll back and the shoulder heads release away from the ears. Tadasana. Now palms together, Namaskarasana. Keep that line of your Tadasana. Feel how when the mounds of the foot spread, the outer leg firms in towards the bone. Now bring the hands above the head. Feel all parts of your palm press evenly, and from there, begin to lift up. Lengthen up through the arms as if you're holding on to a rope there, being pulled to the ceiling, so that now you divide the body here in the side waist and in the back waist. So buttock is down, back ribs lift. Keep working with the thighs moving back, right, to keep that length in the side body, back waist. Elongate, elongate. And then bring the hands back together at the chest. Tadasana. One more time, palms together. So maintain from the waist down, bring the arms overhead, and inhale, go up. Elongate so that again, the tailbone is in and feels very stable, almost like it's being held while the rest of the spine lifts and lengthens. Then from there, Garudasan on the right hand side. So you're going to take the arms wide, take the right leg over your left leg. I'm not mirroring you. It's my right leg too. Poke the toes if you can. Take the right arm under the left arm. Now, as you lift your elbows up, feel how the outer knees kind of hug together. The standing heel is down, and recreate that feeling you found in Tadasana at the tailbone. So that as the elbows lift to shoulder height and the forearms press away from you, the tailbone is in, outer hips are firm, but the length of the spine can be longer and longer and longer as time goes by. And then Tadasana. Namaskarasana. Urdhva, overhead, right? Namaskarasana, lift up. Lengthen. Keep the jaw soft. Then arms go wide, left leg over right. Hook the legs, if possible. If you can't, that's okay, or you can put the toes down. Right? Left arm under right, palms together. Now get that standing action in the bottom heel. That'll be your right heel. Feel the outer knees firm together and how the outer hips become firm to the midline. So the tailbone is in. Then, as you lift through your arms, elbows lift. You can get the lift in your side waist, back ribs out of the back waist. Breathe. Ooh. Then come back to Tadasana. Vrikshasana. You're going to lift the right leg up first. So now I am going to mirror you. Right leg up, Vrikshasana. So it's my left leg, but it's going to look like your right leg. Bring the hands to the hips. Now find that Tadasana action in your left leg again. So that both sides of the buttock descend. If it helps, bend the left leg. So you can descend both buttock as you lift the left leg to straight. Hands together. Arms overhead. And now lift and lengthen up. Now as you pull the arms up out of the waist, feel how your right frontal groin deepens, gets almost sharper to keep that right buttock descending. And lengthen from the right groin towards your frontal right kneecap. Back ribs lifting, side ribs, side waist lifting up. Side rib, side waist, lifting up. Elongate from there. Tadasana. So the first Vrksasana, we're just working on that length, that space, tailbone in, and the length of the spine. Second side. Catch the action of your standing leg. Arms overhead and elongate now. Deepen your left frontal groin. Flow the frontal groin towards the front of the kneecap. Elongate. Elongate. Even those back ribs lift out of the back waist. Tadasana. Once more. Right leg out. Now build the elongation. Keep the standing leg awakened. Same actions as Tadasana. Now as you get that length, that elongation, as you get this groin to flow towards the frontal knee, slightly feel how the right knee moves back. And that should enhance the action of the tailbone being in. It should enhance this outer right hip being firm so the frontal spine can lift and lengthen more. Then Tadasana. Change sides. Find your standing leg so this outer hip will firm in. Bring the arms overhead. Get the length first. Massive length. It's sort of like that length never stops, right? The body divides into at the waist. Then as you flow that frontal groin to the frontal knee, slightly hit the left knee back. That doesn't mean your hips move, right? The whole pelvis should stay, but let that knee flow back slightly to enhance the action in the tailbone and in the outer hip. Then Tadasana. Utkatasana Trikonasana. Inhale, jump. Go to your right. Press the left heel, broaden the reach of the arms, and then come out over that right leg. So the left leg in this case is equivalent to the standing leg in Vrksasana, the pose you just did. So find your effort from there. Heel down, thigh back. Then onto your right big toe. Feel this right frontal groin deepening so that the right side ribs lengthen beyond the foot there. So really feel that you're building the length in the sides of both waists, even as that left heel keeps you anchored and stable tailbone in. Then lift, change sides. So I know there's more in Trikonasana. We're going to take it in a minute. But I really want you to find these anchored actions first, this stabilizing actions first, even if you're very familiar with those actions, right? And many of you are, but it's how we begin, right? So feel the thigh back, feel the heel down, then mound to the left big toe so this frontal groin deepens. So pull, when this is deep, you can lengthen the left side waist away from that frontal groin. So both sides of the body gain length as the right heel stays stable, as the tailbone stays in. Then inhale, come out. Exhale, jump to Tadasana. Trikonasana again. Inhale, jump. So Utkatasana Trikonasana, extended Trikonasana, extended triangle pose. Come on out to the right hand side. Recreate those actions as before. Then mound of the right big toe down. So feel that outer grip in the outer right hip, keeping the tailbone in. Lengthen across the frontal body and begin to turn the chest all the way from the bottom ribs to the chest. Turns towards the left. Look up towards the left thumb. Shoulders away from the ears. Feel the spine inside the body just like you did, standing against that corner. Then inhale, come up. Change sides. Use your exhalation to come in. Once you begin to find the actions, press the mound of that left big toe so that outer left hip firms in beneath you, right, towards the wall in front of you. Feel then, when the tailbone's in, then the spine can really lengthen, right? All four sides of the spine. And as that happens, press the back, right heel down, right thigh back, begin to turn the chest towards the left. Stand in your legs so the shoulders are away from the ears. Inhale, lift from that right arm, come up, turn the feet forward. Exhale, jump. Tadasana. So using those same actions to keep the tailbone and the spine in, shoulders out of the ears, we're taking Artichondrostana, half moon pose. Inhale, jump. Go back to the right hand side. I'm going to move away from my wall a little because it's a little narrow, right? Use your Trikonasana just as before, right? Apply all those same things. Take a nice strong Trikonasana standing in your legs. Then keep the gaze inward. So even though your eyes are open, they're either looking up towards your thumb or maybe they're looking forward. The outer gaze is different from the inner gaze. So observe the body from inside and slowly begin to make that transition. So you bend the front leg, step the back leg in, press that heel down again, get stable. Reach the right arm forward, and then come on up. I can't talk and do it at the same time. Now, bring the weight into the mound of your right big toe so the right knee lifts and that right frontal groin deepens once again. So both sides of the body can lengthen away from the waist and the chest can turn to the left. Then bend the right leg, triangle pose. Build the full pose. Lift from the left arm, come up. Turn the feet forward. Change sides. So adjust your stance if you need to. Triangle. Find the full expression of that pose for you. Then keep your inner gaze paramount and transition. So bend, step in, gain your legs again, right? Feel already that left frontal groin has to work to be deep. Mound of the left big toe, buttock towards your right heel, press the mound of the right big toe away. Feel how the legs are the stable part and the spine is the free part, right? lengthening further and more as time goes on. Transition back to Utthita Trikonasana. Lift from the right arm, inhale, come up. Turn the feet forward. Jump, Tadasana. Well, let's just do that one more time. Okay. Jump. Triangle pose on your right. Transition to Artichondrostana. In that Artichondrostana, your lifted left leg extremely straight, buttock to the left heel. Relax the abdomen, turn the chest. It should almost feel like your top left ankle is being pressed down, so the inner left leg lifts up away from or against that weight. Utthita Trikonasana. Inhale, come up. Change sides. Transition. Triangle. Inhale, come up. Jump, Tadasana. Now do your Tadasana back at your corner again, right on that corner edge. Just to kind of feel that, oh, there's home base, right? So if there's a tendency to grip the lower back in those standing poses, you get a little reprieve from that. Roll the shoulders back, stand in the legs, thighs back, buttock down. So there's a hugging that comes in the outer hip, outer thigh. Once you really spinalize the work there, right? Come back again. Namaskarasana. Urdhva Namaskarasana. Now again, Garudasan. So let's see, I'll mirror you this time. Left leg or right leg on top, right arm on bottom. Get your stance, right? So your heels down, buttock down. Now press into that heel and a little bit you lift through the legs as you lift through the arms. So the tailbone remains in. Lift and lengthen up. Tadasana. Urdhva Namaskarasana. Garudasana to the left. Left leg up, left arm under. Weight in the standing right heel. And then Tadasana. Find that Tadasana, bring the palms together. Urdhva Hastasana. Now, pull up. Pull up with the arms, feel the palms spread. If it's too much to have your hands together, you can have them shoulders distance, but now lift. And with your exhale, begin to bend the knees for Utkatasana. Bend, press the heels so the tailbone is in, pull up through the spine. You can find a little bit more depth than you should. Bend, bend, so that the front groins deepen. Pull up through the shin bones to lift up through the outer arms to the small finger. Then inhale, lift. Namaskarasana, Tadasana. So when you do that, I'm not as interested in you getting the deepest bend in the world. I'm more interested in you exploring and looking for a deep bend, but staying as upright as possible. So I'm going to show you to the side, right? So you get all that length, maximum length, and then begin to bend. So already you can see I bend, the low back wants to go out, but I press the heels and get a sense of lift through my shin bones, and it takes the tailbone in. Now I'm not that far bent, but you can see my small fingers reaching up. So now I can go a little deeper, bend. And you see this wants to happen. This is what I don't want you to do, because then you're just sitting. The weight is heavy, it's going down. I want you to feel that you catch that weight and it pulls back up. So you can deepen, but then, catch it, pull up. And feel, look how the upper back, hopefully you can see the upper back moves in. Bend, pull up. Okay, again. Tadasana, Namaskarasan, Urdhva Namaskarasan, Utkatasana, fierce pose, right? Bend, press the heels, shins up, lift up through the arms. Breathe into the side body, bend a little more, lift, tailbone in, and then pull the arms up. Namaskarasan, Tadasana. Okay, so now I want to bring that work towards Virabhadrasana 1. So we're going to take our mat to any full wall. So we're going to do this a couple different ways. I'm just moving that so it's out of my way. Get a blanket. Roll your blanket into a tight roll. Really roll it tightly. Roll it, roll it, roll it, roll it. Then that fringy edge, that messy edge, just shove that into the corner of the wall, between your mat and the wall. And really try and get that to stay like that. That's pretty good. Okay. So now I want you to be able to bring your back foot up onto that roll. Let's see. I'm going to show you with my, I guess I'll show you with my left leg. My right leg will be forward. You take your wide distance, like you might, I'm not jumping. We're just going to take the legs wide. You want the feet under your hands for that full distance. Then we turn the legs to the left, just like we might normally turn, right? The legs to the left, but now when I turn my back foot, I'm bringing it all the way up onto that blanket roll, and I straighten both legs. Now, if the body remains heavy, it tends to put that pressure in your low back. Instead, now that I see, and you can even go down and see, are my left toes pointing forward? Well, yeah, they are. And my inner left heel is pointing straight back. Okay, good, it is. Then come up with those straight legs, bend the back leg a little, and roll the buttock down. I don't care if the front leg bends a little, it doesn't matter too much. Just have your balance. Roll the buttock down, 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 okay? And feel how, you'll open this frontal groin now of that back leg. Now keep the buttock down and put your awareness on your inner left heel. Squeeze the inner left, or press the inner left heel into your blanket roll. Buttock remains down. Squeeze your inner left knee to straight. And feel how, as that buttock stays down, the tailbone's in. These frontal hip points pull up. Then reach the arms up, hook your thumbs, and pull up. Reach into that inner left heel. Again, squeeze the inner left knee to straight. Feel how the tailbone is in the body so that you can lift from the pubis all the way up to the palm of your hands. Look straight forward. Then release the arms, turn your feet to the left. Step your feet together. So, a really good way to start to find the openness that has to come to the back leg, front groin. Other side. So I'm sorry, I'm going to turn my back to you because I'm using this wall. Get your distance. You saw I shortened my distance just a little bit because the foot's away from the wall slightly, so you have to kind of play around with that. Turn the legs to the left. Turn that back foot. And if it feels like the foot goes back quite a bit, mine does, then you can shorten your stance a little from the front. But see that your right toes point straight forward, inner heels going straight back. Come up. Bend the back leg a good deal. Be generous. So it's like bending your legs when you're at that corner, right? So when you bend, feel how both sides of the buttock can go down. Hang out with that a second, because you might feel that across your right frontal groin. Breathe. Now, keep the buttock down. Aim at your inner right heel, pressing into the blanket, which is at the wall. Keep the buttock down and squeeze the inner upper right knee to straight, but keep the buttock down, which means the frontal hip points lift some. Now, once you get that, take the arms up, hook your thumbs, pull straight up. And lift your side waist, your back ribs, up off the pelvis, up off the waist. Squeeze that back leg to straight and lift. And then release the arms. Turn your feet to the right. Tadasana. Now, we're going to do the same thing, of course, and we're going to bend the front knee. So when you do that, of course, we set it up the same way. Just watch for 2 seconds. Let's see. So, of course, you get all that length from before. This time, we're going to bring the palms together and lift up. And now, when I bend my front knee, here's what not to do. And this is what everybody tends to do. Everybody, me included too. We kind of want to do that. Like, okay, it's bent, but it's not really, right? So I want you to bend so your thigh is parallel to the ground, and this frontal groin has a sense of going down, has a sense of descending. So it's more like this. This is going down, 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 down. But it's sort of like the beginning of that Utkatasana. I'm not there yet. I have to press my right heel and get a sense that this shin bone pulls up. So I'm going to do that. Here we go. Then the frontal spine lifts up all the way to the small finger. And I lift up away from my right frontal groin. Inner upper left knee squeezes to straight. Then I inhale, come up. And we'll turn the legs. So let's do that all together, okay? So turn the legs, left foot against the blankets. Buttock down, start from the beginning, bend the back leg, so you really get that inner heel connection. So you really get the squeeze of the back inner knee, the frontal hips up. Now this time, palms together, right above your head, shoulder blades down. Inhale, lift through the arms. Keep that inner back heel stable. Inhale. Now exhale, bend. Get that full bend. Press the right heel, lift through the right shin, and pull up all the way through the frontal body. Press the heel to get that lift. Squeeze the inner left leg, inner left knee to straight. Then inhale, pull up. Come back to center, step your feet together. Okay, so second side. Turn the legs, set that back foot up. If it helps to put your hands down, just do it, no big deal. I'm kind of losing my roll, so if you need to roll your blanket up again, you just do it. Bend the back leg, buttock down. Relax and surrender through that right front groin. Slowly begin to straighten your right leg. Keep the buttock down, frontal hip points lifting. Inner upper knee squeezes to straight. Now then, bring the hands together and overhead. Shoulder blades on the back. Inhale, pull up through the arms. Make that inner right heel, even mound to the right big toe, pressurized, inner upper right knee straight. Now inhale and exhale, bend the left leg, bend, but then press the left heel, lift through the left shin. Feel how you lift up away from that left frontal groin. Inner right knee squeezes to straight, keep lifting. Inhale, pull up with the arms. Turn the feet to the right. Step your feet together. Tadasana. So now we got that nice openness, that nice shape. We're going to get rid of our blanket, okay? But we're going to keep using the wall because it helps make that back leg stronger. So that's important. So we're going to go back and put your, that heater needs to go off. We're going to go back, put your left outer foot against the wall, step your right leg away, get your distance. All right. Turn your left foot in, turn the right leg out, pivot the back foot. But when you do, keep that outer left heel there against your wall, right? So buttock is down, press the left heel, straighten the left leg. Now, turn your chest to face the direction of your right foot. And with your inner upper left knee very straight, the trunk of the body turns and that back leg finds a rhythm to where it turns around your inner left leg. It doesn't mean you got to work on it from here. It means you keep the heel down and you work to turn the chest. And you'll find it, it'll follow. It's like a resulting action. Lift the arms. Pull way up, get longer. Massive length, inhale. Exhale, bend. Use that heel against the wall, right? Lift through your right shin. Lift through the side waist. Breathe. Feel how you have to turn your chest again to face the direction that your left foot faces. Then inhale, pull up with the arms. Turn your legs to center. And because we're against the wall, step the feet together. Change sides. So get your distance. Turn the legs. But you got to really dance with that back foot because I do want the outer heel to hit the wall, but it'll feel like it's light at first. That's okay. Because when you bend the front knee, you'll feel it. Right? Press into the right heel, buttock down. Frontal hip bones have a little lift. Yes, your chest will want to turn to the right. Keep that right heel down. Turn your chest towards the left foot, the direction it's pointing. Squeeze the inner right knee, inner upper knee to straight. Then pull way up. Inhale, and with your exhale, bend. Press that back heel now. Turn your chest right and lift the shin. Lift all the way through the outer edge of your arms. Breathe. Breathe into the side body. Turn the chest. Inhale, lift. Turn the feet. And step your feet together. Come on out away from the wall. Okay. Stand in Tadasana. Prasarita, Paduchanasan. Jump. Go quite wide with the feet. Tailbone in. Inhale. Lengthen the frontal body now. Exhale. Come forward. Hands between the feet. Bend the elbow. The back rounds.
Keep the outer legs firm, inner legs lifted up all the way from the inner ankles. From here, you get to surrender any residual grip that has possibly come into your back waist. Keep the shoulders lifted. And then if you're comfortable and stable there, take the hands to the outer ankles, lift the elbows to help those shoulders lift. Keep standing in your legs. There shouldn't be a bunch of pressure in the crown of your head. It's just down, like you're setting it down gently. it is still a standing pose, so the legs are still the doers primarily. Then you can heel toe your feet in a little bit if you like. Inhale, come up with the head lats and step your feet together. Downward dog. Child's pose. Now, feel that line of the frontal groin and how the side body lengthens away from it. Breathe into the side body, the back body. Then bring your hands by your sides with the palms up. Arms relaxed. Bring the hands behind your back, interlock your fingers, roll the shoulders to the ceiling. Abdomen remains relaxed. Then inhale, squeeze the arms to straight, roll the shoulders to the ceiling, and breathe into the armpit chest, that region right above the breast. Now inhale, lift the knuckles to the ceiling. Any amount, go up. Any amount, go up, and any amount, keep going up as you take the arms over some. And then release the arms back. Remember how you crossed your fingers, which index fingers on top. Rest the arms. Interlock the fingers again. Roll the shoulders to the ceiling. Squeeze to straight and inhale. Take those fingers, knuckles to the ceiling. And any amount, go higher, but then any amount overhead. And then release and let the arms rest. Hands under your shoulders. Inhale. Come on up with your head last. Okay. So we're going to lie flat on the mat for a little bit of Shalabhasana. Just a little bit of work there. So go ahead. Lie on your abdomen. Walk your front thighs back so those front groins lengthen here against the mat again. Reach through the toes, big toes stretching back. And just let your forehead rest. I just have my head up so you can hear me. But when your forehead is down, then roll the buttock to the heels. Similar to how we stood in that Tadasana at the corner, right? Roll the buttock to the heels, further and further and further, like you want it to get longer in your lower back. Then spread the mounds of the foot, and the top of your foot will press against the ground. That's correct. Feel then how your kneecaps lift up your legs towards your hips, and the knees will float, the lower thighs will begin to lift a little, meaning just like Tadasana, right? Your thighs press back as the buttock goes to your heels. Same thing here. That helps to deepen the mid buttock down towards the floor and take the tailbone in. Maintain the legs like that. Bring your hands behind you, hook your thumbs, roll the shoulders to the ceiling. And inhale, pull the hands back. Keep the tailbone down, top of the feet down, as if they were weighted, as if I were standing on your heels. Lift, come up, and then release down. Switch the hook of your thumbs, same legs. Exhale. Then inhale, roll the front body up. Reach the arms back from the shoulders to the elbows to your fingers. Reach towards the wall behind you. Inhale, lift. And come down.
Arms at your sides. So Shalabhasana preparation. Tailbone stays in. Legs stay grounded. Lift the shoulders and inhale. Pull the arms back to lift up. Stay for a few breaths and notice how your breath can help you. You see, the more I talk, the more I sink. Feel how the breath can help you lift. And then release down. Now take your arms straight out to the sides. Make room. Straight out to the sides like an airplane. Fingertips on the ground. Keep the tailbone in. Shoulder blades on the back. Exhale. And now inhale. Arms go wide and you lift up. Go wide with the arms so the shoulder blades stamp into the back, but still you widen. And then come down. Do it again. Lift. Wide, wide, wide. Come up. Come down. Now arms forward. Now when you bring your arms forward, you can use your hands to kind of drag the front of the abdomen forward, keeping the frontal groins long. Anchor the tailbone in. Now you can do what you like here. You can hook your thumbs. Sometimes that gives it a little bit more stability. So hook your thumbs if you wish. Otherwise, palms right beside each other. Now inhale, lift the arms. Inhale, lift the head and chest, and try and keep the arms lifting higher than your gaze. But then your gaze wants to catch up. And come down. Change the hook of your thumbs. Arms. Head. Go up. And come down. Makrasana. Interlock your fingers behind your head. Elbows lift. Inhale, lift the head and the chest. Feel those shoulder blades. They're still stamped on your back. Tailbone down, feet down. And come down. Change the crossing of your fingers. Elbows up. Inhale, lift. Find the more you tack the tailbone and the feet down, the greater lift you can achieve. Lengthen forward to come down. Rest. Now, your forehead is still down on your mat. Place your hands right by your side ribs, roughly heel of the hand under your elbow. Turn your toes so that the pad of the foot, the mound of the foot, is trying to come onto the ground. Really walk your toes in. Then push your heels back, buttock to the heels, as you push your hands forward. So heels back, heel of the hand is down and going forward. Push and roll the buttock to your heels. Come on, do that. Strong action. And then rest. When you do that, do you feel how your pubic plate lifts? It starts to give a lift to the pelvis, the heavier part of the body, the part that everybody thinks they can't lift in Chaturanga. So we're going to take Chaturanga, but what I want you to avoid, watch, I want you to avoid this common issue. Oh, Chaturanga. Or it's like a seesaw horse coming up. And also I want you to understand that Chaturanga is not at the height of your elbows. It's that your whole frontal body hovers off the floor evenly. So the way I want you to find, you get those toes in. Now watch, I push my buttock to my heels. Look how this has already cleared the ground. Buttocks going that way, tailbone's in. Now my hands push down and forward, and it's like I can't help it. I'm just gonna come up. But that's all the amount I need to come up. So push to the heels. Get that same buttock as before. This buttock will not get you there. This is a freeloader, okay? You gotta roll the buttock to the heels so the tailbone's in. Then heel of the hand presses down and forward and you're up. And you see, I'm not doing this thing that comes out of flow classes that is taught to be at shoulder or at elbow height. That is very physical, but not very pranic. Okay, so it's I'm going to say it's a little more gymnastic than it is yogic. Okay, and in doing that, yes, it requires a muscular action, but it also can damage the shoulders. When you engage pranically, the effort, it becomes light, because that's what prana is. It's life force. It lifts you, but you have to apply it properly to catch it. It's like catching a wild horse. You have to know how to do it. So that's what I'm trying to tell you, and it comes from, hey, that Tadasana that we did against the corner. That's how you learn to catch it. It's how you learn to tame that horse and give it and make it want to work for you rather than against you. Because really, ultimately, it wants to be your friend. Right? So you walk your toes in a lot, right? Already my hips are lifted, my thighs are lifted, but my pelvis isn't engaged, right? So now I gotta roll the buttock to the heels. It almost feels like I'm rounding my back. Tailbone is deeply in. Then heel of the hand presses down and forward, and with an exhale, I press down and forward, and I'm up. Now, do it again. I want you to do that a few times. I'm going to come up because there's no reason for me to sit there. Do that a few times on your own. Walk your toes in, roll the buttock to the heels, and the heel of the hands are down and forward. Heel of the foot goes back, heel of the hand goes forward, and the rest of the body lifts. And you're just lifted a little bit, but you're hovered. Pardon me. So do that a couple times so that you feel what that is. Now, once you've done that a few more times, you can watch me. Now, we're doing it from the floor to get, I didn't really intend for this class to be Chaturanga. A lot of it's turning into that, but that's okay. You catch it, you learn it by lifting from the ground. That's really how you should learn the pranic efforts of Chaturanga, not from lowering down. It makes it much, much harder to catch it lowering down. But if you catch it from the ground, shoot the heels back, shoot the hands forward, and you're in. Yes, there's a lift through the forearms. Now to come to downward dog, you can just put your knees down. Eventually you shouldn't, but for now, just put your knees down. Take downward dog. Then, watch, in downward dog, I push the buttock into the heels and spread the mounds of the foot. Look how much my pelvis turns. It's a lot. It's not this downward dog. That's a heavy downward dog. This downward dog has prana. Then, when I come forward, I look forward and I go right into Chaturanga. Heel of the hand pushes forward, heel of the foot pushes back. So a lot of you have heard me describe that before, like an airplane coming in for a landing. An airplane would never, ever hover over the airport and try and drop down. There's no prana in that. So make your transition from downward dog into Chaturanga Dandasana full of prana, full of lift. You're going to find that pranic energy coming in like the airplane. Okay, like you're kind of take a nice landing, get close to the ground, and then just set down. Okay, so it's going to look like this. You'll roll through the heels, buttock to the heels, and with your exhale, you come forward, heels back, hands forward, and then just set down. Go on, do that. Downward dog. Roll the buttock to the heels, elongate through the arms. Now already, just kind of bring your awareness to the heel of the hands. And as you come forward, tailbone deepens, heels push back, heel of the hands push forward, hover, and then set down.
Now there's a little bit more to Chaturanga, but we'll explore that at another time in a future class.
Now from there, reach back through your toes, bend your knees, hold your outer ankles, roll the shoulders to the ceiling, flex your feet a little bit, heels push up, press the heels straight back, like someone's pulling your heels back. Take the tailbone in, buttock towards the back of the knees, and open the armpit chest, right? This region here right above the breast. Let that area become expansive. Now tailbone's in. With your next inhale, lift through the mounds of the foot to lift the thighs off the ground. Your abdomen is the base of the pose and it stays down. Lift the legs. And then come down. Rest. Forehead down, turn your toes. Hands under. Now listen, we're just going to touch chaturanga and come right to the floor. So exhale, roll the buttock to the heels, heels back. Feel the heel of your hands push forward, lift. Come down. Grab your ankles. Shin bones back, chest open for Dhanurasana. Exhale, then with your inhale, lift. And come down. Now, hands and knees, downward dog. One more time, we're going to take downward dog, chaturanga straight into Dhanurasana. Okay? So, it's all about keeping the tailbone in, maintaining that pranic effort from within. Roll the buttock to the heels. Feel the heel of the hand even. Whole hands down, but the heel of the hand down and forward. Take a breath, and now with your exhale, heels back, heel of the hand forward, chaturanga. Come down. Lengthen your thighs. Hold the outer ankles. Buttock to the back of the knees. Now, press the heels back. Broaden your armpit chest. Exhale, then inhale. Lift through the mound of the foot. Dhanurasana. And exhale, come on down. Hands and knees, downward dog. Bring your shin bones down. Sit back on your heels. Okay. We're going to take that exact same shape for Utkatasana, Camel Pose. I'm going to put a blanket down for my shins, and you can too if you wish. Just kind of makes the knees a little happier, in my opinion. Okay. To come up, first feel the shin bones down, big toes reach back, the buttock descends. Now to come up, press the shin bones, keep the tailbone in. Come up. Okay. So my teacher would say, you come up like a camel, because it is camel pose, but feel how the tailbone stays in, and this is just in the whole time, right? So then once you're up, separate your feet hips distance, separate your knees hips distance. Hands to the waist. Now, roll the buttock towards the back. It is that same deep effort. Frontal hip bones lift, tailbone deep. Broaden the armpit chest and lift the chest. Feel the toes spread, but also feel the toes down. Feel your ankles and your heels down too. Hands behind the thighs. Keep that tailbone in, chest lifted. But you're going to have to get your hands back to your heels, right? So keep the shin bones working. Bring the hands back and tailbone in. Open the front armpit chest. And slowly the head releases back. And then hands together, come up. And sit back on the heels. So the question is always, how much does the head go back? And there's no one right answer for that. It has to do with how much your spine arches and goes back. So, you know, if my spine goes to here and I'm here, well, then my head should go to there. But as the chest lifts and the tailbone deepens, as the spine moves into the body, well, then you have more control to lift the chest and to release the head. And then the head's relaxed. There's no pinch in the neck. So you'll know when it's right. The idea is shin bones down, tailbone in, middle back in, so the head can release back. Let's do it again. Shins down, come up. Feel the buttock goes to the hamstrings. Feel the hamstrings pull to the buttock. And take that tailbone in. Keep using your shin bones down to lift the chest. Then hands to the feet. Tailbone goes straight forward as your center sternum moves straight back to the wall that you'll begin to see. Inhale, lift, and set back down. Okay, good. So now, downward dog. Take your feet slightly closer than normal. Take your hands slightly closer than normal. Elongate. And walk your feet forward to your hands. And inhale. Come on up. All right, guys. So we're going to take that straight into Shalabhasana and work with Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. So here's how we'll do it. You are going to fold your mat in half like so. Bring it up to the wall. You just go ahead and take, for now, the mat against the wall, and then we'll determine the distance in a moment. Just going to move these ropes aside because they're not doing anything for me. Get 3 blankets for your shoulders and set them up here so that your head will face away from the wall. Now, here's the thing. I'm branding this class as a level 3. Now, you'll see in the description below my video, my descriptions of levels, because everyone is different, right? So I try and give a pretty good outline as to what you can expect in each of the levels. Of course, I can't tell everything of what we do in every level. So I will tell you now, this work of dropping the legs from shoulder stand and into Setu Bandha Sarvangasana, the back bend pose that I'll show you, is really something you learn around level 2. But truth be told, in reality, it takes a little longer than that for most people. I know it did for me. So as a level 3, or in a level 3 class, is where I really want you to get used to doing it, so that in time, you don't need all these props and you just do in the middle of the room. Now you see I'm pulling the mat and the bolster's for my hips. I'm pulling that all the way from the wall a little bit, and I'm going to add another bolster. So I need to come a little further and add that second bolster. I've done this before through Zoom with you guys. The class may still be up online, I don't know, with a chair. But today I'm going to use 2 bolsters. It's a little lower than a chair. The chair is a little higher than what you need it to be for the most part, but we've also got the wall. So it gives a lot of options, I should say, okay? So now you want to get a strap for your arms, and we're going to take shoulder stand. And I'm going to show you how we're going to do this first, okay? So I'm just going to kind of zip through it so you can see it, because once you're in it, you can't see it. And then we'll do all together. So you see I'm making this about the width of my chest. I sit on this green bolster, but it's a little crowded, that's okay. And I lie back, shoulders on, head up. And you know, it should go without saying, if you do not have experience in yoga, don't start with this class. Even if you're very physically fit, you don't want to just jump in, because physical fitness and yoga are very different. They correlate, but they're not the same. Now look, I'm putting my feet on the green bolster for the most part, heels close to my hips. And I just wait a moment so that my buttock flows towards my heels, but my upper arms turn out. Then press the heels, just lift the hips a bit and bring the strap behind your body and hook right above your elbows so that you can turn the upper arm bone out, palm facing the bolster, come down. Now, before we go up, we're going to take Padmasana. So it's really similar to Dhanurasana. Grab your ankles,
If you can't grab your ankles, stand on your fingerprints. But if you can, grab your ankles. Take a breath. And with an exhale, we'll lift. I'm just demonstrating. We'll do it all together in a minute. You'll lift. And look how it's similar to Dhanurasana. We're getting that armpit chest to lift. Shin bones pulling up. Tailbone in. Upper back in. Then we'll come down. Then we're taking shoulder stand. But we'll go to Halasana first. So knees to the chest. Exhale, Halasana. I stay on that blanket. Turn the arms out. Hands up the back. It's easier to touch the skin. So now, the frontal groins. When I push the buttock to the heels, the low back lengthens. But when I spread the mounds of my foot, oh, those frontal groins deepen. That's what I want. It helps me get right on top of the shoulders. Then we'll bend the knees for a moment towards the ears. Padmasana. We're not going to be here long, so I'm just going to keep the strap on. Releasing the lower back. Then we'll come up into shoulder stand. Tailbone in, legs up. We'll be in shoulder stand a little bit. We'll turn the legs out. We'll take Upavishta legs, buttock to the heels, Paduchanasan. We'll go back up. We'll do that twice. Then we'll take Ekapada, one leg halfway down. We'll talk about that lifted leg. The second round, the leg will go closer to the ground, maybe even touch down. But then the third round of that is where it gets really fun. This leg comes halfway, pushes away. The top leg reaches back, and I lift my chest. And I lift my chest more and more, and then I bend that back leg, and it looks for the bolster. And then the top leg can come down. So now, Setu Bandha Sarvangasana with the help of that bolster. And then we'll come back up, and we'll do the other side, right? And then we'll come back to Halasana, strong legs, and we'll roll on down. Okay? That's the story. So go ahead and lie back now, get your bolsters, everything set up. It's the beauty about this being recorded. You can pause it if you don't have your props yet. Go ahead and get them, lie back, take that strap around your arms just above your elbows. Set down. Turn the arms out. Hold your outer ankles. You can lift your legs to get there, right? Hold your outer ankles. Heels on the bolster that your buttock is on. Now, take a moment. Feel the buttock flesh roll towards your heels. Then roll the buttock flesh towards the back of the knees. So as you lift, you're lifting with your tailbone in. Heels down, shins up. Turn the upper arms out. Heels down, shins up. Buttock to the hamstrings. Hamstrings to the buttock. Feel the upper back thoracic region hugging into that space behind the chest. Relax the abdomen. Expand across the armpit, chest there, right below the collarbones. Then release and come down. So feel how that's so similar to what you're about to do in Setu Bandha. Palms on the bolster, knees to your chest. Take a breath. Exhale, Halasana, toes to the ground. Turn the upper arms out and get your hands against your back. Hands against skin work better. Now, roll the buttock to the heels. Get up on top of the shoulder heads, not your shoulder blades. Spread the mounds of the foot. And feel how the heels pull to the buttocks, lifting those frontal groins to the ceiling and giving the trunk of the body some lift. Relax the abdomen. Keep the frontal groins lifting, inner groins, outer groins going up. Then maintaining that, bend the knees, Padmasana. Relax the neck. Do not turn your head. You guys should know that by now. Now Halasana again. Then come on up to shoulder stand. So heels to the buttock, knees to the ceiling, hands in the back. Feel the tailbone move deeply in now. Lift the legs, push through the heels, and bring the mounds of the foot together. And breathe, jaw soft. Occipital ridge flowing away from you. Triceps flowing towards the elbows. Lift the inner legs as the outer leg firms to the midline. Then, keeping the tailbone in. Feel how the tailbone stays in as your frontal groins open and you give weight into the upper arm bones. As all that happens, the gaze can settle towards the chest. Now turn the legs out and begin to take the legs wide like Upavishta. Roll the buttock towards the heels and press through the mounds of the foot so the legs have a sense of real length. Breathe into the side body. Feel how the frontal and outer groins in particular stay lifted. Paduchanasan. Feel the lift of the pelvis going up, tailbone to the heels, heels to the tailbone. Shalabhasana. Tailbone in, frontal legs lengthen now. Again, turn the legs out, Upavishta. Roll the buttock to the heels, mounds of the foot press. Paduchanasan. Shalabhasana. Now, Ekapada. Your left leg stays, right leg lowers halfway down, right buttock to the right heel, mound of the foot away. About hip height. Now turn your left leg from outside in. Feel how the outer hips hug to the midline. Exhale, lift that leg up. And right leg stays, left leg lowers halfway. Turn the right leg from outside in. Lift the left leg up. Crawl up. Right leg all the way down if possible. Keep the left leg lifted. Turn left leg outside in. Right outer hips going up. Come back up. Change sides. Right leg turns outside in. Left hip lifted. Come on up. Now, lengthen up. Open the frontal groins. Now, right leg halfway down. Lengthen it away. Left leg outside in. Now, left leg starts to reach. Feel the upper arm bones down. Lift the chest. Bend the left leg and bring it to the bolster. Then the right leg just comes right down. Lift the chest. And come back up. Right leg leads. Left leg halfway down. Turn the right leg from outside in and start to reach it. Lift the chest as you bend that leg. And then both legs are down. Lead with the left leg, come up. Back into your shoulder stand. You can repeat that, or you can bend both legs, lift the chest, and bring both feet to the bolster.
Press the inner heels down. Lift the back ribs into the chest, broaden across the collarbones. Then bring the legs back up into shoulder stand, buttock to the heels. Lengthen the legs overhead into Halasana and release your strap. Reach the arms overhead towards your feet, straight arms, straight legs, look back towards your hands. And with your exhale, slowly roll yourself back down until the hips touch the bolster, then bend your knees.
Roll back, let the shoulders come to the floor. Breathe. Roll yourself all the way onto the right hand side and come up. Sit on the floor in front of your blankets. If the floor feels hard, mine does, then you just bring one blanket off, sit on a blanket, so it's not hard on your outer ankles. And with the buttock down, bend forward. You might take one of those bolsters, leave it there for your head. Just rest. Let the shoulders rest. The outer hips release, low back long. Inhale, come on up. Change the crossing. Second side. And come on up. Set your bolsters aside. Set your blankets aside. You can, in fact, sometimes it's nice to just lie flat on the wooden floor. So let's do that today. Set the mat aside, because it gives the body sort of this chance to just be free and long and wide. Still set up well, shoulders out the ears, legs lengthened away, props away from you so they don't distract you. Be sure the occipital ridge lengthens out of the base of the neck. Have a blanket for a pillow if you need it. And lie back for Shavasana. Relax the face, the skin across the face, the sense organs, the eyes, the nose, the mouth and jaw, the ears. Surrender the shoulders and the arms. Again, notice your diaphragm, front to back. Release the grip that can come there to the diaphragm. So the abdomen's soft, hollow. The legs long and flowing away from you. Relax there completely and totally, entirely. Let go. Allow the exhale to guide you into that space of surrender, into that quiet space inside. Into that tranquil inner world. And find as the body relaxes and lets go, you can bring a sense of being content into your world just for right now. Content where things are just for right now.
but truly and completely, honestly. That discussion of does contentment come when you achieve all of your goals? No. No. Contentment is a state of mind. And there's different types of contentment. Sure, you achieve a goal, you can be content in doing that. But contentment is also a decision you make to accept the reality of what is right now and surrender to it. And there it is, for right now. Find that space within. And then live there for a while. Breathe there for a while in that contented space. In that space of fullness. And then bring the hands to rest on the frontal body. Stay in that place of fullness and tranquility. In that space of contentment. See if you can bring that with you out of your physical yoga practice and into the practice of the remainder of your day, just for the rest of the day. Can you be content with what is? It doesn't mean you give up. It doesn't mean things are perfect. It just means you're content. You surrender. Right? Then the left leg, reach the right arm overhead and roll onto the right hand side. Use the left hand, push the floor away, look down to come up. Namaskar, that's all for this afternoon. See you next time.